So Heidi, you've worked for many famous wineries over the years. When did you decide to create La Sirena?
Well, actually, yeah, I've worked in the business since, I'd say, the late 70s, early 80s, and then branched off into more independent winemaking instead of working for one winery as, you know, right out of school, working for multiples in the late 80s. So since 88, I've worked for, you know, many brands. And I think I started this actually it was in 1994, and it was an opportunity that just came along. I was doing custom crush for one client who then had a conflict of interest with a bigger family winery that they were involved with, and so I had...
Not ours.
Yeah, no, not yours. But I was hired to make some Sangiovese for them in '94, and then they couldn't, and it was kind of, there was a little mini boom of Sangiovese in the early 90s that was pretty fun while it lasted, but ultimately, you know, the variety sort of was phased out at most places. But anyway, I thought, wow, this is my chance. We're going to be bulking out this wine that I had made. Maybe this is my chance to buy it and start my label with that. And so I did. It was just a couple hundred cases, and so launched La Sirena with, surprisingly enough, a Sangiovese, which was delicious, actually. And then a couple years into it of, you know, starting to do marketing and building clients and learning how to do all that. I'd been making wine my whole life, but never done the sales side, which is pretty tough, actually. That's the hard part. People always think making wine's so fun, and it is, but selling it's a different story altogether. So by '96, I thought, okay, now I've bit off this big chunk. I'm in the wine business. What do I really want to make? And of course, it's Cabernet. It's my first love of making wine, and so that became the focus of La Sirena was Cab. I still kept making the Sangiovese for a few more years, and then in 2000 added Syrah to the lineup. It's another one that I love making, so I had the Cab and the Syrah at that point. And then in '03 we added this really fun white wine called Moscato Azul, and it's a dry style Muscat Canelli, actually, so something very different. Most people think of Muscat as quite sweet and a dessert wine, and it normally is. But I thought, I'll just make it as really crisp, beautiful white wine. It's very floral and perfumey in the nose, but without the sweetness in the mouth. So that's another wine that we have. It's the only white wine that I make for La Sirena. And then I have a couple of really fun blends that are red blends that are sort of winemakers wines where they don't really fit any particular category.
I usually like the blends
yeah,
myself.
the blends are so fun because you can really have best of all worlds. Each, one of the wines is called Pirate, actually, and it comes in a fun little squatty, it looks like a rum bottle.
Yeah, the urge to say R.
Yeah, you can't help it.
It's almost irresistible.
But it's a blend of 7 red varieties, which is very unusual in itself. So it's predominantly Cab and Syrah, but there's Merlot, there's Petit Verdot, a little bit of Cab Franc, some Grenache, and a little pinch of Petit Syrah. So sort of a, California version of Bordeaux meets the Rhone, kind of a crazy blend. Yeah. But we had it last night at the dinner in the cellar, and I think people were quite surprised. It was really a fun wine, and a lot of people said it was their favorite wine or they loved it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so it's fun to have some creative blends as well as the more traditional wines like Cabernet and Syrah as well.